I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got too much for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's Podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
Welcome to episode 16 of Podcast of the Immortals. I'm Matt Bush.
I'm Jimmy Bellamy.
And we have an episode for you.
We do.
And it's, you know, it's an episode. So
we are one more than the latest season of Arrested Development.
yes, 15 episodes. We were just talking about that. And
Great show.
we were both about halfway through. So
Don't ruin it for us.
yeah. All I want, spoiler alert, it's good. And it's funny.
Oh,
So
it's genius.
I hope I didn't ruin it for anyone.
We'll save that for the podcast of the Bluths. I couldn't think of anything funny there.
Sounds about right. Blue Man Weekly.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, we're getting off track. Podcasting Immortals, episode 16. We got a good show. We are going to go over the Raw from last night now, because we're taping on Tuesday. This is a rare thing.
Bonus day.
Yep, a little early for you.
Some of you right now are like, oh my gosh, I get to listen to it at work Wednesday morning. Hooray.
I know.
Who are we kidding? None of our listeners work. You guys are all bums.
Yeah, why else would you be listening to this if you had something else better to do?
That's true. No, it's not true. We are awesome.
Yeah. And then we're going to look ahead a little bit, because we have some payback news for the next pay-per-view on June 16th, coming up quick here. And then we're going to do our top 10 this week. Top 10 is coming back. And this week, what are we doing?
We're doing the top 10 most powerful wrestlers in WWE history.
Now, me and Jimmy had some differences of opinion on this one. So we each made our own top 5 list, where if you combine them, it would be top 10.
Matt, I just... Yeah. Okay, Matt has this guy who he loves, and he was his automatic number one.
Yeah.
And this is me. These are my words, not Matt's. And we could not agree on a number one. Or I refused to go with his number one, but
Yeah.
it's a solid list. He claimed earlier today that his list is going to own my list. I lolled, and I think you guys will loll when you see our lists.
It was funny. I Facebook chatted you, and I sent you my number one, and you thought I was joking.
Yeah.
And I was serious. So, you guys will have to let us know who you think's is better. But we'll get into Raw, and I need to bring up my notes here because I was on the wrong page. Okay.
Matt loves his notes.
I have to have them. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened.
And I'm glad you do that, because then I know, like, when I'm watching Raw, I don't have to take detailed notes or anything. I'm just like, all right, yeah, I can. Matt is organized. I am just here, man.
Kind of like Job.
Kind of, not quite like Job.
Just laying around doing magic tricks. Illusions, I should say. All right, well, Raw kicked off, like always, with a John Cena promo.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that at all?
I got in about 10 minutes after Raw started. Fired it up. I was making dinner, turned it on, and saw that Cena and Ryback were talking. And I thought, oh, jeez. Because I was going to go back to the very beginning anyway, once I got done with dinner and moved to the other room, start the show from the top, and I thought, I can skip this first 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I wish I could have, but I watched it live like a moron. He was met with a chorus of boos from the Calgary crowd, which was good to see. This was a very hot crowd. I was very impressed with it all night. There was a lot of chants and stuff. But I loved it. Cena comes out. He gets booed. Talks for a while. Says that there's going to be a stipulation for the match at Payback against Ryback. since there was such a big controversy about how the match ended at Extreme Rules. There wasn't any controversy. It was just bullshit. Because they didn't even count to 10. And they're doing a 3 stages of hell match. Is that correct?
That is.
And what are the 3 stages? Do you remember?
Yeah, the first stage is lumberjack match. So I think that way they can have everyone who isn't on TV regularly make an appearance.
There you go.
And to me, it seems weird having that as the first match because you're going to have all of them walk out after the first fall, which could create a moment of strangeness. But unless this helps, and it won't because it's a storyline involving Cena, whose character never changes, but maybe they'll establish an ally for one of the competitors. I would assume I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Ryback wins that first set or first set. Like they're playing tennis.
I don't think so. I think he wins a tables match, which is the second stage of hell, because you can accidentally win a tables match. If you win a lumber match, you need to pin the guy clean, and you never see that.
But that's why I could see somebody on the outside helping Ryback.
Maybe,
getting that victory. But as you said, second stage is table, and the third stage is the
ambulance
initial
match.
Initial plan, or what was the initial plan? The ambulance match.
I'm really glad they're doing this because the last ambulance match they had was Cena versus Kane, and it was terrible. I mean, like anytime you have to push someone into a place, it's always anticlimactic.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's over. Like the casket match and the buried alive matches and stuff like that. There's no 1, 2, 3. There's just like, oh, is he in it? Oh, he's in it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and for that, I think the people in the audience, people trying to make sure, did it happen? With a pinfall or a submission, it's clear.
But my favorite part of this whole promo was when Ryback interrupted Cena in his ambulance, and the crowd boos him as well. So, the crowd was definitely not behind our number 1 contender and our world champ. We want Brett, not Brent. We want Brett chant started during the interaction between the two as well. Of course, Bret Hart being from Calgary.
It was Bret Hart Appreciation Night, and I tuned in for that half hour after Raw and watched Bret Hart be appreciated on the WWE app. It was kind of neat.
Yeah, I missed that.
I liked the Shawn Michaels tribute. I liked the Ric Flair tribute. This one was pretty neat, but I don't think it lived up to the others. The Michaels one was cool because Undertaker came out and talked, and I like seeing these guys break character and speak candidly and express their admiration for these people. Chris Jericho talked. Pat Patterson came out, and Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon. And the highlight, it was not to get too off track, but the the host was Jerry Lawler, and Pat Patterson was the first person to speak, and he came out and he said, Pat Patterson, of course, being Canadian from Quebec, says, Brett, you are and always will be the best Canadian wrestler in history. And he gets down on one knee and like pays tribute to him, and Lawler goes, no, Brett goes, man, every time you get down on your knees, I get nervous, which is kind of funny, because Pat Patterson, of course, is openly gay, and I think it seemed like it was one of those moments where Lawler was caught off guard, like, what? Like, did he say that? And you could hear some of the crowd kind of be like, oh, I get it. And then I think it went over the heads of most of the people there. And then Patterson's walking out of the way to be out of the way for the next speaker, and he goes, what did he say? And I think Lawler told him, and he tried to cover for me because he just means you didn't take a whole lot of bumps. And then Patterson says something like, "Oh, you're being a funny guy, or you're being a jokester, or something like that." But I think a few people in the crowd knew what he meant.
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of a funny
That's
moment.
really funny.
So
wow.
But yeah, the crowd chants, "We want Brett," and I think it was part anticipation and excitement for Brett, and I think the other part was get these guys the hell out of the ring.
That's true too. Yeah, no one really cared what Cena or Ryback had to say. Well, and then once you think the segment's over, it's not over. Paul Heyman interrupts, brings out Curtis Axel, and apparently Axel's going to have a shot at Cena tonight because he dismantled Triple H so thoroughly last week that he deserves a shot at the champ. So that was them announcing the main event for the Raw tonight, or last night. And what is that move that Kurt Axel does? It's like he's ripping a shirt off or something?
His taunt. I thought you meant his finishing move. I don't know. His tights have the panther claws or whatever. Like he's tearing through something, and I don't know if that's what his taunt represents or what, but
it's almost as lame as the swagger like leg thing that he does.
It's right up there with the Cam Newton Superman.
Yes.
The swagger stomp is just bizarre.
Yeah.
He looks like a 5-year-old who had his toys taken away.
I just imagine that's someone's job to like come up with a move for them to do when they enter the ring. Like they're choreographing it in the backstage. You're like, yeah, do this. This will look cool. But you just look like a douche. Don't do that. Does Stone Cold ever have anything? No, he just came out.
Well, he had the middle fingers.
Well, he would kind of move his head back and forth and jaw at the crowd, but he wasn't flipping people off the minute he walked through the entrance, though, did he?
No, he just kind of went.
You just walk through. Yeah, you don't have no. People know you're badass. You don't gotta rip your non-existent shirt.
It's like the David Otunga bodybuilder poses.
Yeah. We had a match. Big E Langston taking on Alberto Del Rio, and we want Ziggler chant broke out, which was great to see. Ziggler obviously still nursing his injury.
And they had Ziggler cut a promo via, I think they say
the app?
They said it was on the app. I thought they said something like it was via iPhone. I could be just making that up, that it was via FaceTime, but yeah, it was on the app, and they showed a part of it, and he said he's hurting or he's out of action due to a concussion or whatever he said, and the only cure is more Big E beatdowns, which I didn't know that was the cure to concussions and head trauma.
We should Troy Aikman could still be playing right now. Big E Langston had come around a little earlier, I guess.
He needs to help out some of those former football players.
The match, it is what it is. AJ took the turnbuckle off, ended up costing Big E the match. Looks like a possible face turn for Big E, which could lead to a feud with Ziggler. That's kind of what I saw going on last night.
I had a couple problems with this match. One was the outcome was inevitable and predictable because I didn't think you were going to have Langston win 2 weeks in a row against Del Rio. The second was Michael Cole got a little ahead of what AJ was doing with the turnbuckle, and he kind of telegraphed it and gave away the result of the match, I'd say 20 seconds before it happened.
Yeah, it was weird because I think the ref was right there. Like, there was no one, and I think the ref was like, someone was supposed to distract me so I couldn't see what's happening here. Because, it was like right in front of the ref, and he's like yelling at her, like, hey!
Yeah, and then he starts tying the turnbuckle back on.
Yeah, and then...
Oh, that was a sneeze. He starts tying the turnbuckle on and turning around to watch the action at the same time. And then he never quite got it back on. And
it was a really bizarrely executed match, but it sets up what it needed to do, so we got that. Next, we headed backstage for a Team Hell No promo, and I love this. Bret Hart shows up and tries to give advice to Daniel Bryan, who's feeling like he's the weak link, like he's not good enough. Like Kane is the one who's held this team up, and it was just great to see Bret Hart and Daniel Bryan together. Greatness. Kind of similar. Size guys. One generation to the next. I thought it was really cool. I really liked the promo.
This is completely irrelevant, but I had a problem with the ending when Kane says, "Oh, you listen to what Bret says, even though I said the same exact thing." And he goes, "Well, yeah, he's Bret Hart, blah blah blah, and you're just Kane."
Yeah.
Well, Kane is a 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
He's been around forever, and he's been consistently good throughout his career. And it seems like that's just being forgotten for the sake of the storyline, and I don't get that.
Kane is great, but it's Bret Hart.
Oh yeah, of course.
It'd be like listening to Vinny Testaverde or Joe Montana. Obviously, Vinny Testaverde is going to have something good to say, but if Joe Montana says it, carries a little more weight.
But Vinny Testaverde didn't win 2 world championships.
There's only one championship a year in football, does.
I'm kidding. I know.
I don't know. I'm making a lot of football references tonight. I apologize. Old time quarterbacks too.
Were you like doing a fantasy football mock draft or something?
I was watching Game of Thrones all day.
What's that got to do with football?
Nothing at all.
Huh.
Yeah. All right. Our next match was Dean Ambrose versus Kofi Kingston for the U.S. Championship. This was the rematch for Kofi Kingston after he lost it at Extreme Rules, and another good match. Not much to it. The Shield didn't interfere. It was another clean win for Dean Ambrose. Building him strong. Kofi, I really like what they're doing with Kofi too, making him more serious, less kid-like, really making him more believable as a threat.
He had a solid match, and I think he looked good in defeat. He just needs a music change, and I think he'll have that I guess more serious edge that I've been hoping for a while.
Yeah, and he's definitely a little more aggressive in the ring as well, pulling off moves that you haven't maybe seen him do before. So that's really good to see.
And he's doing, and maybe it's my imagination, but he seems to be doing less interaction with the crowd during his matches.
Yeah,
with the
boom, 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 which Zack Ryder needs to get away from too. The woo, woo, woo.
And I think he is.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't really gotten any offensive moves lately, but yeah. All right, and then holy crap! Next match on the card. I could watch this 3 times last night and still be entertained. The Shield versus Hell No. I was speechless watching it. Like, it just kept going and getting better and better and better. And then a bigger move and a better move, and I was just blown away by the whole match.
A lot of fun. I watched was it Orton Ambrose on SmackDown this past week? Or am I making that up? It was, but it ended up being it might have even been Kofi. Yeah, it was Kofi Ambrose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And that match was, I think, a DQ because of interference, which quickly turned into a 6-man tag with Sheamus and Orton teaming with Kofi against the Shield. And that match was one that kept going and going and going, and it was great.
Yeah, terrific,
entertaining. This match, kind of the same thing. Just I love watching Daniel Bryan in the ring, and I love when he's paired up against the Shield. A lot of fun, and you're looking at, I think, a bright future if the writing team and the people in charge play their cards right. They have this crop of talented guys that are going to go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. There were some incredible spots in this match too. There was this suplex by Daniel Bryan. I think it was on Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like Lesnar was doing it. It was so powerful. 2 little guys. I thought that was crazy. "This is awesome" chant started from the crowd about halfway through the match, which was cool. Seth Rollins, I thought, was really impressive during the match as well. He's a guy who hasn't really stood out for me when I watch the Shield matches, and last night I thought he really stepped his game up and really got to the same level as his partners.
He had that great knee to the head off the top rope to Kane too,
which I believe that ended the match, didn't it? Yep. There was a spear to Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan jumped off and got hit in midair by Roman Reigns, which was really cool on the outside. Just a lot of cool spots in the match, and Daniel Bryan flying around like he always does, jumping to the outside. I can't believe he does that in every single match now. That's dangerous stuff. Like that's a
career shortener.
Yeah, look at Crippler, himself.
Yeah, it's true.
But it sure is fun to watch. I could watch these guys wrestle every single night and look forward to it every time. It's just that good.
The Shield guys, what stands out to me the most is that they don't make a mistake that tells you they're not ready or they came up too soon. In years past, if they've brought up 2 or 3 guys at the same time, usually one of them falls back. But these guys continue to get better and better and really set the bar and the standard for other wrestlers to follow. And they're making it tough for the other people. I just think about how often we've seen guys get pushes and fall on their face, or something not work out, or not get the reaction that WWE wants. They've given these guys a chance, rightfully so, and they're making the most of it, all 3 of them.
I mean, just look at the mid-card right now. It's littered with guys who look good when they came up, and now they're just floundering, and eventually they'll be cut, because there's nothing to do with them. They're just boring. These guys have it. Wade Barrett fought Fandango next with Miz as the guest referee for some reason.
Well, they put people to a vote on the WWE app.
Was that it?
It was, did you want him to be, and I probably don't have all of them, but it was, do you want him to be the guest referee, the guest timekeeper, or a commentator? And I mean, of course, guest ref's going to win.
Why do they, every single week they're doing this now? It's like they're afraid that what they wrote won't get voted in.
I saw a tweet that said, can we vote to not vote anymore?
Yeah, like it's just it's getting ridiculous. It's like, what would you like to eat tonight? Candy, barf, or poop? Yeah. Like 99% voted for candy.
We are stunned with that outcome.
Yeah, no. At least make it believable that they're gonna pick something else. But whatever. So yeah, we got the Barrett match versus Fandango. Barrett, new music.
Yep. Well, he had that a week or two ago.
And I couldn't place it, but now I can.
Yeah.
God save our queen. Really cool. I like that entrance because immediately Wade Barrett's coming up. The rest of the music is kind of generic.
It's like it's unfinished.
Yeah.
I like it, and you even told me yesterday, you said, I like how it starts, but then it just kind of fades, and it does. I mean, I think it could use some lyrics, but I still like it better than the previous 2 versions
of
his music.
Yeah, for sure. Summer Rae came out. Nice. She was looking good. She was looking good. She had she showed her midriff a little bit, which was good. I
asked you last night how long before we see her wrestle, and moments later she
won a match.
She air quotes won.
It was a really bizarre win, but we'll get to that in a second. Fandangoing making a comeback. The crowd was really dancing, and I thought that was good to see it happening without WWE kind of forcing it down our throats.
Fandangoing's dead.
The crowd was doing it, man.
It's dead. If I was in person there, yeah, I would do it. But every time they make a reference to it, it bothers me. The fact that it's called Fandangoing, it bothers me because of Tebowing and anything ing.
Yeah.
It's just like when somebody puts gate at the end of something that's controversial or a scandal. I hate people.
You hate people?
And the people who do the ing thing bothers me. Just say, it doesn't have to be Fandangoing.
Yeah. They if I can take 30 seconds to talk about Fandangoing for a second.
All right, I'll count.
Okay. They completely killed it. They, like Facebook, with all the parents on Facebook, it's not cool anymore because WWE acknowledged it. Like, they almost, last year with the yes chance, like, they totally ignored it. They didn't want it to happen, and it kept happening. And now it's a thing.
But they had a yes shirt, I think, within like a week of WrestleMania ending. Which was weird because then they almost immediately went to no.
Yeah, which is just smart writing. You go against... That was a brilliant move by WWE, actually. Because you want them to think like they don't want you doing this, so do it. But this, they try to embrace it, and it's just done within seconds. But... so anyways, Fandango wins after The Miz hits the SCF. What is it?
Skull crushing.
I can't even remember my own acronym. Skull crushing finale.
That's an abbreviation.
Whatever. Yeah.
It's only an acronym if it spells a new word.
That's true. Miz kicks Fandango in the head right afterwards as well, so we'll probably see triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship or something. And then the aforementioned match happened where Summer Rae kind of trips and falls onto Fandango, and Miz counts 1, 2, 3, and she accidentally pinned him. Whatever. We head backstage right after. HBK is there, looking very grizzled.
Looking grizzled and like he was just awoken from a nap.
Yeah. But you like the beard. I texted you saying he needs a razor, and you said no.
Yeah, the Michaels beard's great. He's just got to shave that head.
Yeah, the spaghetti hair isn't working out for him.
Oh, God. Looks like somebody stapled ant legs on his head.
Yeah. And HBK is talking to Cena, saying basically, like, you guys think you're all Supermen. I'm telling you, if you're hurt, take your time, get healed up. You're going to pay for it later on. Trust me, I know. And Cena basically blows him off, which I thought was really interesting, especially when Daniel Bryan is taking the advice of Bret Hart, and Cena is ignoring the advice of Shawn Michaels.
Wow, that's some deep major and minor functions there. I don't. Are they that smart? Did they do that intentionally?
Well, it's like when you get into a book club and you're reading,
which I would know absolutely nothing about. Seriously.
I'm making another analogy that I've never been in a book club before.
Okay.
But I assume when you get into a book club, you read a book and you find meaning that really wasn't written into it. You just assume it means something. Or when you look at a piece of art and it's like a sunset or something, and you're like, oh, this is about life and death.
Yeah, like how the artist feels about nachos.
Yeah, which it could mean that.
And famine in Africa.
He was probably, that looks pretty, and painted it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm looking into it too deeply because we're analyzing it, is what I'm saying.
I think what you're saying is we're going to see in a year or two a WrestleMania main event with a babyface Bryan and a heel Cena with Hart and HBK in their corners. Then we're going to have a Survivor Series 97 rematch.
That'd be sweet. With Miz as the guest timekeeper because it was voted on.
And Curtis Axel as the special guest enforcer.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman will manage both men.
To the
Barack. And who's this Barack Lesnar guy?
Baroque.
Barack Lesnar, the 45th president of the United States. Barack Hussein Lesnar.
Lesnar, the third. Speaking of thirds, 3-man band.
Oh, yeah, just fucking wasting that cake on Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
I'm a 3-man band.
Taking on Tons of Funk with the great Khali. And it was Natalia's birthday, so Khali sang.
Happy birthday, Natalia.
That's not Khali at all.
That was almost sloth-like.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Is he slow or just foreign?
He's not slow.
You sound pretty slow. So
Great Khali.
Khali's saying, obviously, Tons of Funk wins. Whatever. Did the crowd sing Happy Birthday too?
Yeah,
I think they were chanting Happy Birthday.
They sang Happy Birthday. Yeah, because Khali sang Happy Birthday, and I think the crowd sang with him.
Yeah, that's right. Next, we had Jericho highlight reel returns. Jericho 5000 is working tonight, which is a good thing. Hell of a...
Where was Brad Maddox? Where's he been?
I don't know. I miss him.
I wonder if he's back at NXT or something.
Love Brad Maddox.
I do too.
The Brad Maddox. And Paul Heyman was the guest on Jericho's highlight reel tonight. And he wanted to know what is up with his client.
His other client.
You mean Brock Lesnar, the 3-time W... No. He means his other client. The one and only CM Punk.
CM Punk. Heyman says CM Punk is at home in Chicago watching Raw, when in fact I think Punk just minutes or hours before that tweeted a photo from Chavez Ravine where he was watching the LA Dodgers play a baseball game. He's on his stadium tour.
Holding hands with Lita.
Was he?
I don't know. I'm
Oh, you're just saying it. I thought that was in the photo. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Maybe.
I like that they addressed Punk as his other client. That it was like, oh yeah, we haven't heard about Punk for a while. And I also like that they didn't ignore, when discussing Paul Heyman guys or wrestlers that Paul Heyman has helped develop, that they didn't ignore that. Yeah, Chris Jericho used to be an ECW wrestler before he was with WCW.
Yeah.
And that Paul Heyman played a hand in his development.
Well, they kept on talking about how Paul Heyman, the last 4 guys he's managed, have become world champions. And I knew Punk, I knew Lesnar. I can't place the other 2.
Well, Big Show's one.
Is Big Show?
Yeah, because Heyman turned on Lesnar for Big Show, and Big Show won the title.
Okay.
And then he also later on brought Big Show to ECW, and he became the ECW champion. So he helped him to the WWE title and the ECW title. Now the other one, he's the last 4.
That's what they said that multiple times last night.
4. Holy balls. Somebody tweet us about that. Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam was in.
Yeah, exactly. 2006.
RV Dong.
One Night Stand.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So those were the 4. So he's calling out, where is CM Punk? Is he ever going to come back? And he basically goads Paul Heyman into a match at Payback between Y2J, Chris Jericho, and CM Punk in the Allstate Arena in Chicago
for the title of Best in the World. And now, have you seen the Best in the World belt? It is awesome.
It's probably the best one in the world.
It's pretty sweet. It has like a Levi's 501 logo on the front.
Has my face.
Buddy Lee can't bust them. Those would be Lee's one, right? Because obviously Buddy Lee is Lee. Might be.
I would assume so.
Either way. But yeah, your face is on it, which is cool because it's 7th grade Matt. And 7th grade Matt is just cute as can be.
Yep.
Adorable. I mean, a pre-puberty Matt on a belt is exactly what you want.
If you're going to design a belt that is classy.
It's like someone took the hardcore title and rubbed it in watery poop. That's what they got.
Wow.
You keep this going. I'm going to go throw my toenails away.
Okay, well, I was talking about classy belts in my face, and then we bring in watery poop now.
I think we all know what watery poop looks like.
Yeah, my face, apparently. So anyways, I am if CM Punk comes back, because it's not guaranteed yet. If he can,
it's guaranteed.
It could be all a ruse. They've done that before.
I'm Vince McMahon, damn it.
But I'll be pumped for that match.
Do you think will Punk make any kind of appearance next week, even if it's via satellite?
When he comes back, it won't be on satellite. I think it'll probably be the Raw before Payback.
What do you think of them announcing this? I was kind of hoping for a surprise. Boom! Oh, it's CM Punk, unadvertised, not knowing why he's there.
Yeah, I was hoping for that as well.
Will this create a conflict with Heyman and Punk? With Punk saying, "You put me in a match? I lost my smile and you put me in a match."
I definitely think that's the way they're going to end up going, because what I've heard next up for CM Punk will be Brock Lesnar.
Oh God, that would be awesome.
For SummerSlam, possibly. So they would have to turn him face, which this could lead to him breaking out from a Paul Heyman guy, because no Paul Heyman guy is ever going to be a face. let's face that.
Yeah.
So this could be setting up to it. Maybe Jericho turns heel, because Jericho's a natural heel. He always has been.
Yeah.
And he's been face for a while since he came back at the Rumble. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what they end up doing with
My bad.
Yeah. Next up, we had something for one of our listeners, Kaitlyn and Natalya taking on the Bellas. Kaitlyn, what? I don't know what the hell she was wearing last night.
Kaitlyn breaking into the Fabulous Moolah collection wardrobe. Yeah,
that was a little rough.
Our boy, the Johansson, super excited about that. Super pumped to see Kaitlyn's legs. And
I even wrote it down. Kaitlyn's new outfit isn't too flattering. That was in my notes.
I'm hoping it's a one-time deal. I don't know if they told her, look, you need to start wearing actual wrestling gear instead of cargo pant capris. And
I kind of like that.
Oh, fuck,
it was,
dude, I
it was
loved
a unique,
it.
look.
I thought her outfit was banging.
Yeah.
Banging. Look, I'll take it. I mean, it was fine, but yeah, I mean, she's looking like...
It looks like she put on I don't want to
No,
say
no,
this,
don't you dare say that.
you know what I mean, though.
I don't.
I don't know if it was the
No.
outfit.
No.
Okay.
No,
She just looked a little...
She's...
a
No.
little more built.
She's...
Maybe.
She's very muscular.
Yes,
She's not
I agree.
hefty.
No, I'm not saying she's hefty. It just looks like she's a little more filled out than she had been.
That will get women in trouble. That will make them starve themselves.
I'm not saying that... Kaitlyn, if you're listening, do not starve yourself.
First of all, her name is Celeste.
Is that her real name?
Celeste Bonin.
Okay, Celeste.
Or Bonin.
Depending on who you're asking.
Well,
the Bella... Okay,
she's built. She is like a She-Hulk, which is cool. I mean, like, she looks good like that, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying she looks bad.
Do you need a refill?
Yes, please.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to pour Matt some water while he talks to you about his Kaitlyn outfit boner.
No, just go back to the other... It just wasn't flattering on her. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
The Bellas, on the other hand, the red outfit, I'm giving the thumbs up. Double thumbs up.
But you can't touch. I don't like the leg things that the Bellas wear. Where it's like, look, if you're gonna wear those leg things, just put on a pair of pants.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they have just like this aversion to their shins or what, but just it's like, look, wear boots.
They hate their knees.
Or wear pants, or just do something. But that whatever they're wearing, like like bell bottom bottoms.
Yeah.
And,
Well, the Bellas end up winning, of course, because you can't put over a hometown talent on her birthday.
That pisses me off.
They never do.
I don't know if it's like a running rib, if it's just standard practice that the talent understands, like, I'm in my hometown, I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
And of course there are exceptions. There's Money in the Bank, Punk, Chicago. I think Randy Orton won in St. Louis last 2 weeks ago or whatever. Because Extreme Rules was in St. Louis, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so he beats Show or whatever. But more often than not, it's like, here, who can we absolutely just take a dump on?
It's usually JR.
Yeah, it is.
To be honest.
Which is also the surefire way to turn anybody heel. Just have them beat up JR.
Yeah. No, or Hornswoggle.
Yes.
That's insta heat.
Oh my god.
Well, anyways, the Bellas win, and then they sing "Happy Birthday to You, Loser." Natalia, and I want to call Lee back. That's how bad they sounded.
Yeah,
they were awful at singing "Happy Birthday."
And they shut off I think they shut off like Nikki's mic or whatever because she kept trying to talk, or at the end she tried to talk and she could tell. Oh, they shut my mic off.
Just like CM Punk's pipe bomb.
Yeah,
just won't let her speak the truth.
Oh, you're cutting me off, and she was immediately suspended and stripped of her title match.
She was wearing a Stone Cold shirt for some reason. It was weird.
Brie 316.
Our
Brie 316 says, "I just got breast implants." And why do they even have a Bible verse that's... I didn't even know they had a book called Brie in the Bible.
I think it's wedged between Job
and Genesis. Now, a couple people make, Job and Genesis aren't near each other.
You know what we have to say to you? Shut up.
Eat a wiener. Yeah. That's what I say.
Eat a wiener.
Like a hot dog.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Ballpark Frank.
Our next match was Rhodes Scholars versus Orton and Sheamus. Orton wins.
No, the Celtic Vipers. Which is just ridiculous.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they go, Celtic Vipers up next. Oh yeah. You know what's the best is when we were going through the whole Rhodes Scholars thing and Team Rhodes Scholars, Team Hell No. Andrew Goldstein, former WWE writer, on Twitter, he said the team of Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch would have been Team Dusty Dick if we went by today's naming standards.
Awesome. Just dust that dick off.
Hasn't been used for a while.
Just an okay match.
Hasn't been used for a while and has apparently been exposed to the elements.
Yeah. You don't just leave that laying out on a shelf somewhere.
Not only has it not been used, it also hasn't been covered for some reason.
Just let it all hang out, you know?
Oh.
Okay. Orton gets the pin. It was an okay match.
Was it with an RKO out of nowhere? I can't remember.
I don't know. Probably. I think it was an RKO out of somewhere this time. So
He hears voices.
yeah, this led to our main event. It was the second main event in a row for Curtis Axel, and he actually. It was a slow-paced match, but Axel looked okay. I like the perfect plex coming
Yes.
out.
Oh.
Which was
I've
we haven't
wanted
seen
him
forever.
I've wanted him to have that in his arsenal, and that was I thought he was going to get the 3 for a moment. I thought he was going to get the 3 count with that.
That was cool. And then Ryback comes out with the ambulance, and he has to start putting that ambulance siren at the beginning of the music. It would be so cool.
And he should also have "Holler if you hear me."
Yeah,
Holler if you're hear me. I can't talk. Holler
me.
if you hear me.
So Ryback interrupts. Cena gets counted out. Ryback attacks. It was kind of a blah.
Cena, the savvy vet, would not completely ignore the fact that he's in a match.
I know.
And walk down to that ambulance and get counted out. You won't be that lucky next time. Cena tweeted at like 5:30 a.m. today.
Really?
Yeah. Congratulations to the real Curtis Axel. Blah 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 blah. But you won't get that lucky next time. Whatever, dude. Okay, now.
Oh, by the way, the Shield tweeted as they were coming out to the ring.
So somebody is tweeting for the Shield?
It's bullshit.
Are you sure, though? They have a lot of compartments in those vests.
Maybe,
and those cargo pants.
I'm sure they have an iPod in one of them. Or an iPhone.
I bet they did. Yeah. I mean, I bet, seriously, I guarantee one of the writers was like, look, this would be sweet if you can tout before your entrance. And Dean Ambrose was like, no, we are not going to be touting, but we'll tweet. And they're like, all right, fine.
Is that your Dean Ambrose?
That was my Dean Ambrose. And I got really close to you when I said it.
Yeah, you did.
You're forgetting a huge part of Raw last night.
What am I forgetting?
The vignette we saw for the Bray family.
For the what family?
The Bray family. The Wyatt family. Did you not see it?
I might have skipped through it.
Okay. They are going to debut 3 wrestlers soon.
Yeah, that's what the girl, right? The really good wrestling girl.
You did not see this.
No? Okay.
No, they are going to have 3 wrestlers, all men.
Oh, okay.
Currently. And it is Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. Bray Wyatt, of course, is Husky Harris.
Oh, okay.
Also, real life name Wyndham Rotunda. Son of IRS.
Oh, really?
Mike Rotunda. Yep.
Husky Harris is the son of IRS.
Yeah, and you remember Husky Harris from the Nexus.
Yeah, I remember
him. Okay, so he, after 2010, I think he got injured and then sent down, or just sent down.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while.
And he got repackaged, I think, as, I want to say either Bray Rotundo or something like that. And then got taken off TV, and then got put, and this is FCW, NXT, then came back, I think in February this year, as Bray Wyatt, and he's kind of like this, not really Cajun, but like kind of like Cape Fear type character. I said last night, Waylon Mercy and Skinner had a boy, or had a son, and had a kid and named him Bray Wyatt. Now, you don't remember Skinner and Waylon Mercy, do you? Okay. In the early 90s, in the original year or two of Raw, they had a guy named Waylon Mercy, who was kind of like that Cape Fear guy. He had like the Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. And he looked like Scott Hall, kind of. He had like a receded hairline, but he had the Scott Hall, like
curly Q,
Jerry curler.
Like Superman.
Yeah. And he was just like, I remember his music was kind of like, almost like a Psycho Sid type music, and he's like, lives are going to be in Waylon Mercy's hands. And he was a scary guy, and I think he wore like the Armando Estrada white pants. And he was a scary wrestler to me at the time. I was 11, 12 years old. Skinner was this just redneck, gumbo eating bayou guy who was spitting chew and had a grubby beard. it looks like they mixed these two guys together and had Bray Wyatt. So he has this like long, like slicked back hair, this big grubby beard. He's wearing like the Hawaiian type shirt, and based on the vignettes, it looks like they come from like Cajun country. They have Eric Rowan is this bald guy who has a giant red beard.
I saw him wrestle at Access.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
Well, they said he was from Minnesota.
Okay.
He came out.
And I admittedly don't know him very
that might
much
be his
about
NXT character.
Yeah, I very, very much don't know anything about Eric Rowan or Luke Harper.
Kept like stroking it while he would wrestle. He's a big fucking dude.
Yeah, he's a huge guy.
Yeah.
And then Luke Harper looks like Cal Clutterbuck with a monster Amish beard.
So they all have just big beards?
Huge beards. And it's funny because Harper had like the slicked back black hair, short. Like he looked like Clutterbuck, even in the eyes. Kind of like a Cal Clutterbuck, Josh Groban mix.
For anyone who doesn't know, Cal Clutterbuck is a hockey player for the Minnesota Wild.
Yes, and God, you gotta find out who Cal Clutterbuck is. He rocks a great mustache.
Yeah.
He also dresses very dapper.
On his way to 10 goals.
He's from the late 19th century.
Yeah.
Great hockey player. Great as in like he hits a lot.
Yeah.
But so anyway, these three are going to debut soon. I am excited. I'm also, breaking news, going to get Hulu Plus.
Nice.
Because I'm going to watch NXT. You get WWE programming.
Yeah.
And it's, right now, you can get a 2-week trial if you go to huluplus.com/Bill for like Bill Burr, the comedian. Cool. And I think Colt Cabana has a 1 or 2 week trial. I think a 2 week. I know the standard is 1. But if you go to the Bill Burr one, huluplus.com/Bill, 2 weeks free.
Nice. You
can cancel before you get charged, or you can just pay the $7.99 a month. I'm gonna just start watching all this NXT stuff because
that'd be sick.
I mean, Cassius Ohno, Sami Zayn, also known as El Generico, debuted last week.
Oh, I didn't know that they. I heard they repackaged him. I didn't know what they renamed him as yet.
And I'm super pumped to see him. But these guys, they've got the look. They look like they have the character for it too, and I'm super pumped to see them.
It'll be good. Like back in the Attitude Era, there was always like multiple factions. There was Nation of Domination. There was DX. There was NWO. There was
The Brood. There was Ministry of Darkness.
Raven's Flock.
The Corporation, and then you had those other factions. You had the mini factions. You had the Mean Street Posse. You had even before that, you had the Godwins as a tag team. But then they had like I think Zeb Coulter was Uncle Zebekiah with them. They could get back to that.
Yeah,
you had the Acolytes as a tag team. Then they went into the they were in the Ministry of Darkness.
The Oddities.
Yep, the Oddities. Of course, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time was a part of that, Golga. Earthquake. Before that, John Tenta, rest in peace. And I'm excited because this crop, these NXT guys, and I hope they make NXT a TV show again with these guys. I love it.
Yeah.
They've got such great young talent. I just hope that they have room for them, and I hope they do not waste them.
Well, we'll find out, and it's an exciting time. Cena can't go forever. CM Punk is already transitioning from that go every night to maybe more of a veteran role. They need to replace these guys, and I think they have the talent there. They just need to do it right. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with all of these guys.
I want some of these recently retired wrestlers, and recently as in maybe like the last 5 years, I want to see JBL be a manager. I'd like to see some of these guys be managers. And I understand that maybe a guy like JBL looks at it like, well, I would have to be at house shows then to be with my guy. This way, as an announcer, it's a part-time deal.
Yeah.
He can do his other stuff. He can climb his mountains, write his books, do whatever. But they have a bright future, especially with some of these Attitude Era guys being older, but being reintroduced into the regular shuffle. Pumped to see what comes.
It'll be good. Well, our next pay-per-view, Payback, like we said, coming up June the 16th.
Can't wait.
We got our 3 Stages of Hell match. What other matches would you like to see on that card?
I want to see a tag title match that has some kind of stipulation. I would love to see a third tag team into that mix. I feel like if it was just Hell No as the challengers, it's guaranteed a win for the Shield. And to me, all that comes from that is a split of Hell No. I'd like them to throw Rhodes Scholars in that. I think that's a tag team with two guys that deserve a shot at the titles, deserve the titles, although I don't want them to take them off the Shield yet. Mm-hmm. I want those two guys in the match instead of being relegated into a pre-show match or a meaningless match. Give me that, and man, just dreaming crazy. How about a triple threat tag team match? Triple threat tag ladder match, and that would be a tornado tag.
Yeah, ladder match would be sweet.
Oh, I would love to see a three-way tag ladder match.
Time.
That would kick some ass.
Or even a TLC match.
What match do you want to see?
Well, we're getting CM Punk, it sounds like, against Jericho, so that was the one I really was hoping for. I didn't think it would be Jericho, though.
I didn't either.
I didn't know who it would be, but I didn't think it would be Jericho. But I'm really excited about that match. If I had to pick one, I guess I would want to see Dean Ambrose really put his title up against someone. Maybe... Let me think here. Who's a solid, right under the main event talent right now?
A babyface?
I mean, ideally, I'd love to see him, face Daniel Bryan or something like that, but it's not going to happen. No. I don't know.
I can't think of a babyface right now who would be in it. We didn't see any Jack Swagger on Monday.
No, which was weird.
I can't think of the only guy I could see compete, and he's far above fighting for the U.S. title, but I'd like to see an Ambrose versus Randy Orton. That's what I'd like to see.
That would be good, actually, because they've really built Orton up. Although he wouldn't go for the U.S. title.
No.
Crap, I just had someone in my mind, and now I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Match I want to see is the one we missed last month. The ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship was Ziggler, Del Rio, and Swagger. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we'll get it, because Ziggler's still off of TV, not even traveling. So
I would like to know what the timetable is, if he'll ever come back. And at this point, you have to wonder, because of a head injury, you don't know. It's unpredictable. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if he would...
I mean, look at how long...
If he would be coming back soon, or if he's done. Mm-hmm. Justin Morneau, of course, Minnesota Twins player. Really took him almost 2 years before he started to look normal again.
It was July 4th, 2011?
It was around July 4th.
It was right on July 4th. I know it was July 4th.
No, it wasn't July 4th, because I had a softball game, and our game just ended. And I was sitting at the bar, not drinking, but eating food, because our team was sponsored by this bar. And we were watching that game, and it was eighth inning. I think he slid into second base to steal the base and got...
Yeah, you got a knee to the head.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was July 4th, though.
No, I'll bet you...
$1.
I'll bet you a Red Bull.
All right. I got a Red Bull in my car.
Oh, sweet.
Because I don't drink Red Bull.
I do a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I love Red Bull. Are you looking it up, or am I looking it up?
I'm sure this is
the podcasters want
interesting.
The listeners want to know. But okay, assuming we get that triple threat match, is there another match you want to see?
Again, it goes back to Dean Ambrose. I just want to see him showcased in a high-profile match, maybe against a Sheamus. That would be a good match.
Yeah, Sheamus is the other guy I thought to be in that U.S. title mix, but I mean, he only because he has had the U.S. title within the last couple of years. But to me, it's weird. Once they put the world title or the WWE title on these guys, they lose a lot of steam once they aren't in that mix. You look at Sheamus, Del Rio to a degree, Miz. It's almost like
there's a fall off there.
They've significantly fallen if they fight for any other title.
It was July 7th, by the way.
Okay, you owe me a Red Bull, son.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, so that's basically our look ahead. There hasn't been a lot of matches that have been verified or whatever, so that's all we got so far. So we'll get into our top 10. And again, this is the most powerful wrestlers in wrestling history. We didn't put the WWE history stipulation on there.
Which I think I said at the beginning of the podcast, so it might be
redundant at this point.
So, big thing too is here's how I defined powerful. Now, like I joked earlier before we recorded that Ted DiBiase could be on there as one of the most powerful wrestlers, or Vince McMahon could be.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's my definition of powerful. I took the characteristics of size, strength, speed, and agility, and I tried to find the wrestlers who have either all of those things or an overwhelming amount of size or an overwhelming amount of strength.
Yeah. And I just more went on strength because that's what I was thinking when I thought powerful.
Really? Because I thought you were just trying to find wrestlers who rhymed with Soldgerg.
No. No, I was going purely most like 90% on strength for me, and that was what I was looking for. I was talking to you about like those moments where you're like, holy crap, I can't believe they were able to do that.
And to your credit, you did think of times when guys had those
unbelievable moments,
iconic or memorable
feats of strength.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
like
a semi pole.
Yes, like on Seinfeld what was Festivus?
Yeah,
the feats of strength during Festivus. So we'll get into it, and I actually have 7. Do you have 7?
I have 38.
Okay. Do you want to read 38 through 8, and then we'll do our top 7 together?
Yeah. All right. Here's my 38 through 8, and I came up with 38 because these are 38 guys I thought of, and then I ranked them. So starting with number 38, Bam Bam Bigelow, British Bulldog, Rhino, Bradshaw / JBL, Dino Bravo, Rikishi, Typhoon and Tugboat, same guy, of course. Warlord, Barbarian a little stronger than Warlord. Big Daddy V, Viscera Mabel. Hercules, Akeem, One Man Gang. Tony Atlas, Ultimate Warrior. Earthquake, Golga, Shark, Avalanche, whatever else he's been, John Tenta. Sheamus, Sid, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash / Diesel. Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Superstar Billy Graham, Rick Steiner, King Kong Bundy, Bruno Sammartino, Ryback, Kane, Undertaker, Yokozuna. That's 11. Number 10, Umaga. Rest in peace. And you too, Yokozuna.
There's a lot of dead guys on this.
Yeah. Number 9, Mark Henry. Number 8, Bill Goldberg.
Okay, so we're to our top 7, and I only listed 7 on mine. So I will give you my number 7 right now, and it was a guy that you had talked to me about, and it's Dave Bautista. Mm-hmm. And he's a physical freak. He was like 290. I think about 280 of that was just muscles. His Batista bomb was really cool. I like that because it was like a power bomb, like a Diesel would use, but he would actually throw the guy down and with more force, and it was a really powerful move, and that's what I liked about. So Batista, my number 7.
My friends and I called that move the Dave Bomb. Always
makes sense.
My number 7 is John Cena, and I there might be some people like, oh God, Cena, but you look at what he's able to do and how he's able to make some of those things look easy. He's a strong guy.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he's also, he could be classified as a physical freak. Mm-hmm. The way he's built, and his strength can't be faked. It's legit. So John Cena, my number 7 powerful guy.
My number 6 is John Cena. Yeah, for the reasons you mentioned. And I was going through the moments like I was telling you about, and that moment where you lifted up both Big Show and Edge at WrestleMania 25, I believe, mm-hmm. on his shoulders was insane. Like you could see him shaking. Obviously, it's a little easier because it's basically a squat, and he's not just lifting, like deadlifting him, but you got to be freaking strong to pull something off like that. So that was really impressive to me. Cena's proven it year after year after year. The guy's just incredible. So makes my number 6 easy.
My number 6, the late great Big John Studd. Mountain of man, immovable at times and to many. I just think this guy was, at the time especially when, I mean, now so many of these guys are physically enhanced or just like athletes today.
Yeah.
Bigger, stronger, faster. John Studd looks like a dude who is just...
As we're watching Ryan Braun at bat.
Enhanced.
Yeah, a little bit.
John Studd looked like a dude that they just found like plowing a field by himself without equipment.
Yeah.
And said, you want to wrestle? Just a huge dude, strong as can be. And I think really, you know, if Andre the Giant didn't exist, I think Big John Studd would have been one of the biggest guys in wrestling history.
He's got his place in history for sure. That's early WrestleManias and stuff. My number 5, maybe the most iconic wrestler of all time, Hulk Hogan. And again, I went back to that moment, and him slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3 stuck out in my mind so much that I just couldn't leave him off my top 5. Obviously enhanced, you know, he admitted to taking steroids, but the guy just, I mean, his 22-inch pythons and all that, just physically built. Kid, you know, as a kid looking up to him, I'm like, I want to look like that. And obviously, I didn't get quite to there, but.
How big are those pythons you're rocking?
You know, good. You know, they're it's a few inches. You know, yeah, they got some.
I was talking about your arms.
Inchitudes.
The thing that I think hurt Hogan, as far as my list went, because I had him like, God, what I have him at 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I had him at 21. What hurt Hogan for me is that his legend or character or like. I mean, he was such a mythical guy. I mean, even at the time, I remember, and I mean, as a kid, I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. But because you look back, you're like, oh, this guy, you know, yeah, he wasn't the best worker, or like, you know, he wasn't the greatest technician. I think to me, I looked at it like, oh, well, I mean, he was just made to be so much more, you know, dropping guys with a boot to the face and a leg drop. Now it's good enough to win a match. I think that hurt him on my list in the long run, but still, yeah, I can't disagree with you, other than the fact that mine was, you know, 16 spots lower.
Yeah. The way I look at it, you just didn't see other guys slamming Andre the Giant. Regardless if they could or not, even that it was believable that this guy could do it, and then he did it.
So is Lex Luger your number 1? No, I'm kidding.
No, I did have Luger on my short list.
Did you?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about him, and he certainly could have been worthy of the top 38. Oh, yeah. My number 5, Dave Bautista. And to me, he is pound for pound overall. If you take all the attributes I said, size, strength, speed, agility, to me, he is the overall best wrestler when it comes to all that. I think he has, if you were to take all those and average them out, I think he's the best when it comes to all of that. And I mean, somebody's like, well, no, he's not.
I would put a few guys ahead of him for sure, and you might hear them on this list.
Yeah.
But
I like Batista because he was, for his size, quick, agile, pretty damn good wrestler too. And I just think with his strength and his size, to me, like if Vince McMahon's wildest, wettest dream, Dave Bautista is the mold of a wrestler that Vince McMahon created. And of course, he probably is enhanced or was and whatever. I mean, you see when he got to taking MMA seriously, how his body changed.
Down,
He's, to me, pound for pound, like the prototypical, no offense to John Cena as the prototype, Dave Bautista is the prototypical wrestler and a powerful one
and
at that.
Apparently he's gaining mass.
But he's also in.
We don't know if
he's also in that Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
And he plays a character that looks like wrestler Dave Bautista used to look.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just rumbling, might come back.
Yeah. So who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Bruno Sammartino.
Okay.
And again, it was pre.
Who's he?
Bruno Sammartino.
I keyed.
Yeah. Pre like all this sports science and physically enhancing and all that, just barrel chested. His finisher was a bear hug. okay, if you're getting put down by a bear hug, that guy has to be pretty freaking strong. And he was so beyond his competition, and that's how I kind of looked at him. And that's kind of how you have to rank wrestlers, is how they look compared to their peers. He was just a monster of a man compared to everyone he was wrestling. So well-deserved number 4. I can't argue against that at all.
My number 4 is a guy who I think gets overlooked by a lot of people, and to me is one of the true, just like on my list I had Rick Steiner. I think Rick Steiner, truly real life, powerful dude, big dude, strong. This guy is the same, if not, well, I mean, not if not, he is better when it comes to being powerful, is Haku, or Mang, or whatever he was in WCW.
Like, he didn't bench press like 500 pounds, something like that?
I'm going to say yes, I don't know. Yeah. But he was one half of the Colossal Connection tag team. And, I mean, the dude wrestled barefooted. Barefoot. I'm a writer. I should know this. Barefoot. He wrestled barefoot. Haku's got to be number 4 because he's a wall that could not be moved. A big bleeping dude.
It's like Ann.
Powerful.
It's a wall.
He's a big guy. So
Can't knock him down.
My number 4, Haku.
Cool. My number 3 is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And again, I went to the strength part of it. He's legit strong. His records just were broken like 15, 16 years after the fact. As a power lifter, was it jerk and clean that he did? Or
clean and jerk?
Is that?
I think it's the clean and jerk.
All right. I think that's what he did, or deadlift, or whatever it was. I think he put up like 1,000 pounds at one point. And you saw him towing, the semis. I don't know if that was staged or whatnot, but I'm sure he could legit do it, especially if he was training for it.
He's also the pride of Silsbee, Texas.
Well, there you go. So, you know how they breed him in Texas, bigger. So
I love Mark Henry. Yeah. Like, Mark Henry, the human being, like, I've never met him or anything, but he's so lovable. Yeah. I love the guy. He's awesome, and I'm always happy for him when he gets a push. Yeah. My number 3, Brock Lesnar. Again, similar to Batista, and I think Brock is more talented. At least early Brock. I mean, Brock right now, you don't really get to see, with his MMA influence, you don't really get to see the...
Well, the suplexes are still pretty cool to see.
Mm-hmm. I still want to see him in those black tights. It's just the Jimmy John shorts bug me. I love Jimmy Johns too, but...
Yeah, early Brock, though, my God.
Yeah. We hadn't seen anything like him.
No.
And
I don't think we ever will.
I loved watching him, so Lesnar, to me... He's got that great mix, and just a powerful guy.
Yeah.
One of my friends was friends with Brock. They went to college together at the University of Minnesota, and he said that when they would go out with each other and their friends, and my friend who knows him is about my size, and for those of you who don't know, I'm 5'8" and like a buck 55, buck 58. And my friend is, I think, smaller than me, and he said that he would smart off to anyone and everyone when they were out drinking, and he'd get somebody in his face, and he'd say, "Oh, hey, Brock
Lesnar,"
and Brock was always happy to oblige, and I can't imagine walking
Can you
around
imagine being in a bar, starting a fight with someone, and Brock Lesnar is his buddy?
Some mammoth human being.
Like,
I'd feel invincible.
I tap.
So my number 3, Brock Lesnar.
My number 2 is Brock Lesnar. So great minds think alike. When you were talking about Batista, and you were talking about the size and strength and agility and all that and speed, Lesnar, to me, would be leaps and bounds ahead of Batista. I mean, Batista was limited in what he could do in the ring. Lesnar, anything he wanted to do, you believed he could do it because he probably could.
Yeah.
Just a natural athlete, unbelievable strength, just built like a brick shit house. Just when he came in and his debut, when he just came in during that, it was an Extreme Rules match or a hardcore match or something, and he just took out everyone, and he power slammed that guy like 4 times.
It was when he debuted?
Yeah.
It was Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, I think.
Were they?
That he beat up, yeah.
Was it the Hardys? I don't think it was. But
you don't think it was? Do you want to give me another Red Bull?
I said, I'm not sure if it was or not.
It was.
Okay, I'll believe you. But he just laid them all out. You honestly believe, like, holy shit, this guy is just gonna tear through the entire company, and he did. Physical freak. I can't. Number 2.
My number 2, The Big Show. I just think over time, the man has done some amazing things. And you can say what you want about him, that he's kind of a slug, or he just underperforms, or he's underachieved. To me, Big Show, just a fucking mammoth of a man.
Oh, yeah.
And when WWE was in Duluth in 2000, maybe 4, or it was sometime between 2003 and 2006. That narrows it down. I think it was 03-ish or 04, after Big Show returned from his what's the word when you get
haircut?
Banishment? He was
suspension.
Well, he was banished for a while and sent to OVW.
Yeah,
and it was like 2 years. Yeah, when he was demoted, it was like 2 years where they just sent him away. And they're showing Carlos Gomez. Twins didn't need him. No. But he came back, and there was a house show at the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center. My good friend Jeff, who has been a mainstay at that place, was backstage working, and Show came up to him and goes, "Where can a guy get food around here?" And Jeff said, there's a concession stand upstairs, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I can get you whatever you need. Show pulls out $20 from his tights, hands Jeff the money, said, "Give me 2 Polishes." So Jeff goes and gets the Polishes, comes back down, and he hands him the Polishes, hands him the change, and Show goes, "Where am I going to put this change?" Because he has to go wrestle him a little bit. So Jeff keeps the change. Show takes down the 2 Polishes in 2 bites. And he said that he made those Polishes look like cupcakes, mini cupcakes. And he said that Show's hands were the biggest thing he had ever seen.
Oh, yeah. So you're shaking a bunch of bananas.
The man's a monster. I like that. Yeah. You're good with the analogies.
Thank you.
And to me, I've seen him in person. Not that up close. Not as up close as Jeff has, but I've seen him. I've been front row at a match when he's competed. What he's able to do physically as a human being, and what he has done in the ring, to me, he's the second most powerful wrestler in history.
I really like when he spears people. Mm-hmm. Not as much as my number 1, though.
Yeah, I like how Show easily throws huge guys off of him when he's being pinned.
Yeah, that's cool too. My number 1, you probably guessed it because it rhymes with Schmolzberg. It's Bill Goldberg. His spears, his presence. I mean, he had muscles on his neck that I didn't even know existed. Yeah. His the defining moment for him was when he jackhammered the Big Show when he was Paul White in WCW. And no one thought he would put him up, and it was like he was lifting up Rey Mysterio or something. It was unbelievable. You're holding 450 pounds like it's a sack of potatoes or something. It was unbelievable show of strength. He had that. He played in the NFL. He had that athleticism, power, strength, everything combined. When he hit someone with a spear, you thought he was going through the mat. I could show you a video like 5 minutes long of him spearing people where you think they're going to be broken in half, like from a guillotine or something like that. Just unbelievable, natural strength. His body didn't look like he was going to be like the strongest dude of all time, but he was able to do things that guys who looked like Scott Steiner weren't able to do, just because he had that natural ability, and it was just unbelievable to watch, unbelievable to see, and for me, he was the most powerful wrestler of all time.
Speaking of Rey Mysterio, my number 1 is is Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, I know you kind of dogged me for this one, but to me, Hulk Hogan doesn't slam Andre if Andre doesn't let him. Just like anybody. I mean,
if you deadweight anyone.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who gets slammed is helping, of course. We know that. But Andre the Giant is huge, was huge, even though WWE did exaggerate his height and his weight. He was still a mammoth human being at a time when WWE or WWF and wrestling in general didn't have some of the bigger people they have now. I think that if he were alive today and in his prime, and that's the other thing, everyone on my list, and I would argue for Matt too, we are picturing them in their prime.
Yeah.
Their peak condition.
Yeah, I'm not taking TNA Hulk Hogan at number 5.
No, exactly. To me, Andre the Giant, and maybe it's lore, and it's the years gone by that have enhanced it, but to me, he's the most powerful. And I think with Big Show at number 2, you kind of see that similar mold.
Where's Giant Gonzalez?
Giant Gonzalez.
Where's the great Khali?
Giant Gonzalez is dead. No, but he was super tall, but he wasn't like a mammoth guy, and he also
was a pretty big dude.
He wasn't very coordinated. He wasn't very like big. He was super big, like tall, but I mean, he wasn't like
he was pretty. I mean, when you look at him, you didn't think, but then you see him like standing next to the Undertaker, and he just dwarfs the Undertaker.
Yeah, but I'm not picking based on height solely.
Yeah.
And Great Khali, same thing. Great Khali, I'm sure, has the strength of a bull.
Yeah. But
to me, his lack of coordination brings him nowhere near this list.
Sure.
I mean, I guess if I needed somebody to move or help me move, yeah, I'm calling Khali. He could easily take my couch, no problem. But
Khali, I'm moving across town. Can you? Yeah, be right there in a minute.
Doesn't make him worthy of being on the most powerful list. But this was a fun one.
He just dominated that couch.
I had a blast with this one.
Yeah,
and Khali, sorry man, you're gonna have to lay in the back of the U-Haul. There's no room up front here. Or he'd just like fucking grape ape it. He'd just stand on the top.
He could just hang on with his hands.
Grape ape.
He could drag his feet. No, he wouldn't mind. He can't move him anyways.
I liked this list, and I think this concludes the show, Matt. I'll let you.
Yeah, we went over, but we had fun tonight. Next week we'll try and cut a little short. Maybe have a little less analogies about poopy water and I don't know, Minnesota Wild players. But we had fun. Be sure to follow us at Immortals PCast, at 97Bush, at Jimmy Bellamy, Facebook, all that. Rate us and subscribe us on iTunes. That's a big help. We're starting to slip down on the ratings there, so
rate us. Takes maybe a minute. Give us a star rating.
You can do it right on your iPhone or your Droid.
Give us some stars and a couple words of nice things to say.
Yeah.
Get us up there.
Basically, you can talk about how sexy we are.
Yes. Especially now that our photos are actually
on
the
belts.
avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, our avatar. Yeah, I like that logo too.
And that watery poop belt.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Peace.